But there are bigger worries for you down the horizon. They have nothing to do with fuel, but this whole union push. You have a very happy workforce. I mean, you judge, the happiest workers, and they do those surveys. Delta's always in the top 10, et cetera. And now there's a concerted push to unionize. So you must be looking with one eye over at South Carolina and Boeing. What's going on in your case?
Well, it's really disappointing. Delta has, as you said, we're very proud of the direct relationship we have with our employees. And we just went through 9 different efforts to organize over 50,000 employees, and our employees resoundingly rejected union representation.
Well, now they've got a separate push where they can sign them up in 10 days.
Well, the difference is we're under the Railway Labor Act, and the administration appointed 2 ex-AFL-CIO union presidents to 2 of the 3 people on the board. And now they've changed the rules.
But their rules are the rules, right?
Well, the Railway Labor Act is governed by the National Mediation Board, different than the NLRB. And the kind of problem that Boeing is having right now, Delta's been having for a couple of years, where we beat all the union elections, and then 2 AFL-CIO appointees to the National Mediation Board decided to change the rules that were established for union elections in airlines 75 years ago. And we think that basically the National Mediation Board is just essentially an arm of the AFL-CIO. And it's disappointing because...
So what happens to you if they get their way? In other words, you've beaten back union efforts because you pay people pretty well. They're pretty happy. And in these times, that can be pretty tough. But you always have the dissatisfied workers, and you always have those who, when they see your numbers improving, say, I want more of that. Richard, you should give me more of that. So play this out for me then. If they were to unionize, what would it mean to Delta?
Well, Delta, first of all, we're going to win no matter what, because we have a 75, 85-year history of a direct relationship. So we're confident, and when you look at the last 10 years, we've won every union election that's ever been tried on the property. So we're pretty confident of our ability to continue to be the best employer in the industry. We have 15% profit sharing plans. We have ESOP plans. We have very good health benefits. We
Those are employee stock ownership plans. Or
yes.
For the stock, but go ahead.
So we take good care of our employees, and we think that's an important part.
What if it's more than that? I think this has gone beyond just taking care of employees. It's a union push to maybe go after the employers. And the more union shops you can count, the better off they are. And they might be promising, a carrot, when in the end, those workers are going to get a stick.
Exactly right. And when you look at the fact that you really don't need a union at Delta Airlines or at many other companies, because if you look at union membership in the private sector over the past several decades, it's steadily declining. And it's steadily declining because we have a well-educated, productive workforce, and we have a lot of very responsible corporations in this country that value their employees.
What if Boeing ends up losing separate case, this whole NLRB thing in South Carolina? They're told you can't expand South Carolina.
Well, Boeing is probably the most important manufacturer. In fact, is the most important manufacturer and innovator in our economy. And
so if they're shut down in South Carolina, what would that mean?
It's very significant because I think every country in the world would welcome the opportunity to have a Boeing plant.
So in other words, a lot of CEOs, and I've talked to many of your colleagues, who say, well, off the record, I'll just go offshore.
Well, that's happening. And I don't think we fully comprehend that when you take the regulatory climate that we're in, the offshore tax climate versus the onshore tax climate, and the fact that capital is perfectly mobile. We have free trade agreements around the world, and by the way, you can get anywhere in the world on Delta Airlines just like that. It's very easy for capital and labor to be mobile. And
so it would be even more mobile if this were to come to pass.
That's exactly right, because it's, maybe 50 years ago we had trade barriers. We don't have trade barriers anymore, and capital can move and labor can move. And when you look at where the growth is around the world, the economies of Brazil and China are growing at double our rate.
Very good point. Richard Anderson, very good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Fly well. So you're
come fly with us. Fly, Coach.
All right.
Great product back there.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Richard Anderson, the Delta Airlines CEO.